Hello everyone, I am Mrs. Sandhya Lanke, Faculty Shri Jain Vidya Prasarak Mandal, Sasik Lalayam Dhariwal, College of Pharmacy. Today we will discuss about pharmaceutical emulsions part 1. In this video we will discuss about the definition of emulsions. Then after watching this video you will be able to explain test for emulsion type and you will be able to classify emulsifying agents. So before starting with the emulsions, just think and imagine which are the materials or items that we are using in our day-to-day life as an emulsion. There are so many things those we are consuming or using as in the form of emulsions. Have you think ever before? So let us discuss which are those things. So friends, in day-to-day life we are having milk early in the morning. In summer seasons we are having the taste of ice cream. We are using so many types of paints to decorate our homes. So all these are nothing but the examples of emulsions. So let us discuss what is exactly emulsions so that you can correlate the things which we are using in our day-to-day life are really the examples of emulsions. So emulsions, it is a dispersion in which the dispersed phase is composed of small globules of a liquid distributed throughout the other vehicle in which it is immiscible. So from this information we can say that emulsion is a liquid phase or liquid dosage form in which two different liquids are there and they are not getting mixing with each other properly. That means they are immiscible with each other. One is mixed as small globules disperse phase and another one is acting as vehicle, nothing but it is present in large concentration. So we can say emulsions as a thermodynamically stable two-phase system consisting of at least two immiscible liquids, one of which is dispersed in the form of small droplets throughout the other with the help of an emulsifying agent. So you might be thinking what this emulsifying agent is. You might be understood about the two immiscible liquid. One is present in small concentration, another one is present in large concentration. Both are immiscible with each other, but still it results in formation of thermodynamically stable two-phase system, and this is just because of use of this emulsifying agent. So these emulsifying agents, these are the substances which are going to reduce the interfacial tension, the surface tension between the interface of two liquids, and because of which it results in formation of a stable biphasic liquid system. So the droplets which are present as a dispersed phase, they are always in the range of around 0.1 to 10 micrometer in diameter. See, in this figure you can see when water is present alone, it is exist in a homogeneous form, it is a single phase, but when we will add oil to it, it will result in formation of two different phases. And you can see here oil is floating on the surface of water, that means it result in formation of a immiscible liquids. But when we are adding here mustard as an emulsifying agent in the mixture of that oil and water, it result in formation of a stable dosage form or stable mixture. So that's the role of emulsifying agent. So again we'll discuss here. Emulsion is a dispersion in which dispersed phase is composed of small globules of a liquid which is distributed throughout the vehicle. Vehicle is nothing but which is present in large concentration and it is immiscible. So in this diagram you can see in the A part two immiscible liquids are not emulsified. There are existence of two different phases, phase 1 and phase 2. In diagram B, you can see an emulsion of phase B disperse in phase A. When we are adding oil to water, they will try to mix with each other. But what happens? It will result in C, that is unstable emulsion, which is slowly going to be separate out. But upon addition of an emulsifying agent like in D, it is going to form a coating or covering over the droplets, and it will result in the formation of stable emulsion. Why? Because this emulsifying agent, it will act on the interface between phase A and phase B, liquid A and liquid B. Whatever the interface is present over there, on that interface this emulsifying agent will act, and because of this it will stabilize the emulsion. So why it is going to be stabilized? It will just form a coating, covering or film over the globules, as well as it is going to reduce the surface tension which is exerted by liquid A as well as liquid B on their interface. And because of this reduction in the interfacial tension or surface tension, there is complete stabilization of that mixture. It is result in a stable emulsion. So this is about emulsions. Now what exactly this internal and external phase? So the dispersed liquid is known as internal phase. That means whatever the droplet phase is there, it is called as internal phase or dispersed phase. And what is this dispersion medium? It is also known as external phase or continuous medium. The liquid in which droplets are dispersed, or the liquid which is present in large concentration, is called as external phase or continuous phase. You can see in this diagram the globules are represented as dispersed phase, which is present in minute amount, small concentration, and the liquid which is present in large concentration or where the dispersed phase is mixed, that is called as continuous phase or dispersion medium. Now there are two main types of emulsion. Emulsions are classified into two: water in oil type of emulsion and oil in water type of emulsion. Now depending upon which phase is present as dispersed one and which is present as a continuous one, these are the two classes. When water droplets are dispersed in oil, it will result in W by O type of emulsion. Means water, the globules will be of water and oil will be present in large concentration. Whereas in O by W type of emulsion, droplets of oil will be there and water will be act as a continuous phase. It will be present in large concentration. So these are the two classes of emulsions. Next, depending upon the various dosage forms, there are various types of pharmaceutical emulsions. In day-to-day life we are using, for example, different kinds of ointments, creams, liniments, lotions, and even vitamin drops. We have already discussed all these things in monophasic liquid dosage form, so we will not go in detail, but all these are an example of pharmaceutical emulsions. Next one are the tests which are used for identifying the type of emulsion, whether the emulsion is O by W type or W by O type, whether it is oil in water type or water in oil type. For identifying that, there are 5 different tests. First one is dilution test, then is conductivity test, next one is dye test, then is fluorescence test, and next one is the filter paper test, where cobalt chloride is used. So one by one, let us discuss all these tests in detail. The first one is dilution test. Now in this test, the emulsion is diluted either with oil or with water. If the emulsion is of O by W type and it is diluted with water, it will remain stable. Why? Because water is present in large concentration, and when we will add a small quantity of water in it, there will be no any effect, and that's why the emulsion will be stable. But If it is diluted with the oil, the emulsion will break, as oil and water are not miscible with each other. So, oil in water emulsion can easily be diluted with an aqueous solvent, whereas water in oil emulsions can be easily diluted with oily liquid. So, in this diagram, same is presented. When O by W type of emulsion is diluted with water, there will be no change in the phase. But if the same is diluted with oil, it will result in phase change, and we can identify the type of emulsion easily. The next one is conductivity test. Here the basic principle of this test is that water is good conductor of electricity. Therefore, if water is present in large concentration, that means if O by W type of emulsion is there, their test will be positive because the bulb will glow. Now how this will happen? In this test, an assembly is used in which a pair of electrodes are connected to an electric bulb and it is dipped into an emulsion. If the emulsion is of O by W type, the electric bulb will glow. Now why the bulb will be glow? Because water is good conductor of electricity. So we can easily identify the type of emulsion. And what will happen in W by O type of emulsion? The bulb will not be glow because oil will be present in large quantity. It will act as a dispersion medium and oil is not a good conductor of electricity. Very simple. Next one is dye test. In this test, an emulsion is mixed with water soluble dye, for example, amaranth solution, and then that emulsion is observed under the microscope. It is very simple. Just take a drop of emulsion, take it on the slide, then take a small drop of again dilute amaranth solution, mix it properly, attach the cover slip, remove the excess and then observe under the 100x lens under the microscope. So if the continuous phase appears red, it means that the emulsion is O by W type, as water is in the external phase and the dye will dissolve into it to give color. Why it is so? Because amaranth will, as it is soluble in water, it will color only to the aqueous phase. So if the background is red color and globules are colorless, it indicates that it is O by W type of emulsion. And if we are using another type of dye, that means if we are using if the scattered globules appear red and continuous phase as colorless, then it is W by O type of emulsion. Same, if amaranth solution is used and if you will observe that the globules are of red color and the background is colorless, it indicates that water is present in the small concentration. Amaranth will give color only to the water globules or water phase. So if globules are red and background is colorless, it indicates that it is W by O type of emulsion. Now if we will use the oil soluble dye, for example scarlet red dye or Sudan red dye, it is oil soluble dye. Same will happen, that scarlet red or Sudan red will give only color to the oil phase wherever it is present. If the globules are red and background is colorless, it indicates that it is oil in water type of emulsion. And if background is colored one and globules are colorless, it indicates that it is W by O type of emulsion. So without having much confusion, you can just quote an example of only one type of dye, either amaranth or scarlet red dye. Next one is fluorescence test. Now if an emulsion is exposed to the ultraviolet radiation, it shows continuous fluorescence under microscope, then it is W by O type. And if it shows only spotty fluorescence, then it is O by W type. Now why this is so? Because oils have property to fluoresce against ultraviolet radiations, whereas water does not have. So if oil will be present in large concentration, then only we will observe the continuous fluorescence under the microscope, and obviously where we have to observe it under the ultraviolet radiations. So as oil have tendency to fluoresce, it will show the fluorescence, and the type of emulsion will be W by O. But instead of continuous fluorescence, if we will observe the spotty fluorescence, at that time it is O by W type of emulsions. And the last one is filter paper test. Now here what we have to do, when a filter paper soaked in cobalt chloride solution and it is deep into an emulsion, then we have to dry it. It turns from blue to pink, and it indicates that the emulsion is O by W type. Now why this is so? Initially the dried cobalt chloride paper is having blue color, but when it is deep into the hydrous media, cobalt chloride in hydrous media, it will give color change to the filter paper, and that's why if the type of emulsion is O by W type, the filter paper will change from blue to pink if water is in continuous phase. But if oil is in the continuous phase, the filter paper color will be remain as same. So this is about the different identification tests which are used to identify the type of emulsion. Again, the frequently asked question, the difference between O by W and W by O type of emulsion. Whatever the test we have discussed, those can be used here as a point of differentiation. Apart from that, one or two more differentiation points are there. In case of O by W, very simple. Which one is the dispersed phase? Oil is in the dispersed phase and water is in the continuous phase. Whereas in case of W by O type of emulsion, in this type of emulsion, water is in dispersed phase and oil is in continuous phase. In case of O by W type, they are mainly used to administered orally. They are used for internal use. Why? Because water is present in large concentration and it is palatable. But in case of W by O type of emulsion, as oil is in the continuous phase, they are mainly used for external application like as creams and lotions, because they will adhere to the topical surface for longer duration of time. The emulsifying agents which are used mostly in O by W type emulsion are gum acacia, gum tragacanth, methyl cellulose, and mainly they are from monovalent bases like sodium, potassium and ammonium. Whereas in case of W by O type of emulsion, the emulsifying agents used are wool fat, resin, beeswax, and they are derived from divalent bases like calcium. So this is again the major difference. Then as we have discussed earlier, in case of dilution test, O by W type of emulsions on dilution with water result in stable emulsion, whereas W by O type of emulsion on dilution with water they will break because oil is in the continuous phase. Then dye test, the emulsions when they are combined with the scarlet red dye, the dispersed globules will appear red and the background will be colorless. But in case of W by O type of emulsion, the dispersed globules will appear colorless and the background will be red in color upon mixing with scarlet red dye. Then in conductivity test for O by W type emulsion, here the emulsion shows bulb glowing on passing the electric current, because water is good conductor of electricity. That's why it will carry the electric current and it will allow the bulb to glow. But in case of W by O emulsion, the bulb does not glow because oil is in continuous phase and it is bad conductor of electricity. And in case of fluorescence test, the droplets show fluorescence when UV rays passes through it and it will be the spotty fluorescence. But in case of W by O type of emulsion, the continuous fluorescence will be observed under ultraviolet radiation, because oil is present in the continuous phase and oils have characteristics to show the phenomena of fluorescence. So these are some differences between O by W and W by O type of emulsion. Next one is emulsifying agent. We have already discussed, but we'll just go through it. Emulsifying agents These are defined as agents that reduce the interfacial tension between two phases, that is the oily phase and the aqueous phase, and thus make them miscible with each other and form a stable emulsion. So whatever the pressure is exerted at the interface between oil and water, that will get reduced because of addition of this emulsifying agent, and it will form a stable emulsion. Now what roles these emulsifying agents are playing? First one, obviously it will cause stabilization of emulsion, then it reduces the interfacial tension, and the thermodynamic stability will also be given by these emulsifying agents. Then it causes formation of interfacial rigid film which act as mechanical barrier for the coalescence. So these emulsifying agent will form a thin film on the surface of droplets or globules, and that will protect the particles or globules by forming the coalescence. Those will avoid the coalescence or co-joining of the globules. And the last one is formation of electrical double layer. This will act as barrier to approach of particles. It will avoid formation of agglomerates. So these are some roles of emulsifying agent. Again, the frequently asked question in board exams: enlist the ideal properties of emulsifying agents. So this question is always asked in exam for either 2 marks or 3 marks. So the first one is whatever the major role of emulsifying agent is, that is it should be capable of reducing the interfacial tension between the two immiscible liquids because it will give stability to the preparation. Then it should be compatible with other ingredients of the preparation, as emulsifying agents are used to form stable emulsion. There are so many other ingredients, so emulsifying agent should not react with the other ingredients in the preparation. It should be non-toxic. Then it should be capable to produce and maintain the required consistency because it will provide thickness to the preparation also. Then it should be chemically stable, and it should be capable of keeping the globules of dispersion liquid distributed indefinitely throughout the dispersion medium. That means the droplets should combine with the dispersion medium evenly upon shaking the container, and those will remain for sufficient period of time. So these are the properties of emulsifying agent. Next one is the classification of emulsifying agent. Now there are main 3 classes of emulsifying agents. The first one is the natural emulsifying agent, then inorganic emulsifying agent, semi-synthetic emulsifying agents, and synthetic emulsifying agents. In natural category, gum acacia, gum tragacanth, and alginates are the example. The emulsifying agents which are obtained from animal source are gelatin, casein, wool fat, and egg yolk. Then those from mineral sources are bentonite and vigum. In case of inorganic emulsifying agent, colloidal alumina, milk of magnesia, magnesium oxide, and magnesium trisilicate are the examples. In case of semi-synthetic category, methyl cellulose, carboxymethyl cellulose, hydroxymethyl cellulose, and microcrystalline cellulose are the examples. And the last one is synthetic, in which the carbopol and colloidal silicon dioxide are the well-known examples of synthetic type of emulsifying agent. So this is about emulsifying agent, and the last one is pharmaceutical applications of emulsifying agents. So the emulsions can be used in various dosage form. The preferred one are the oral emulsions, the parenteral emulsions, and the topical emulsions. Now why we are preferring oral emulsions? So these are making the preparation more palatable. So whenever the any liquid substance is having objectionable taste or texture, at that time the drug is formulated in the form of oral emulsion, because the taste of that particular drug is going to be masked. Then better absorption because of small globule size, the medicinal agent get absorbed faster. In case of parenteral emulsions, we can provide the lipid nutrients easily in our body in the form of injections. So here the lipid nutrients are emulsified and given to patient by intravenous route, and such type of emulsion should have particle size less than 100 nanometers. So because of this, the bioavailability will be more. Then some depot injections are also there. Now these depot injections are in the form of WIO type of emulsions, and these are used to disperse water soluble antigenic material in mineral oil for intramuscular depot injection. This will avoid repeated administration of drug, as well as they will have a sustained or controlled effect. Then in case of topical emulsion, various type of both means O by W as well as WIO type of emulsions can be formulated as a topical preparation. When the O by W type of emulsions are used, they are more acceptable because they are water washable, and the basis, those are mainly used for cosmetic purpose. For example, vanishing cream, cold cream, which will give cooling sensation to the skin after its application. Whereas WIO type of emulsion, they are also useful as a topical preparation because they are mainly used in the treatment of dry skin. For example, moisturizing cream, then winter cream. What will be the benefit? They will because of their oily nature, they will remain on the surface where it is applied for longer duration of time, and it will provide the moisturizing effect. So there are number of applications, but we have just discussed the major one. So this is about pharmaceutical applications. So thank you very much for watching this video.